We are calling a brother Al-Fadi. Hello, my brother.
Hey, brother, how are you?
I'm fine. We are live on air, and there is almost 200 people listening to us.
That's wonderful, man. It is so good to talk to you, brother.
Thank you, thank you. Actually, I added you, you know, and I'm so happy actually to talk to you and to introduce you for those who they are listening to us, and you know, maybe you can share some good stuff with us.
You got it, brother. I'll be glad to help as much as I can. Sadly, today, of course, I have about maybe 45 minutes, if that's okay.
It's all right, you know, if you like, I just because you know we wanted to talk, but maybe we never have a chance, and I added you already. So I said to myself, let me introduce you to those who they are here, because some of them already they know about you, and some of them they don't really know much. So maybe if you can introduce yourself first for people who they are listening.
Hey, by the way, can I see what you're seeing? Like, if I put the camera on, would I be able to see your screen?
Actually, I can give you a link. Let me give you a link.
Yeah.
Of YouTube, and you can see the chat. All right. Give me. I will call you back in a second. Let me find the video from YouTube,
okay,
and I will give you the link, and then you can see it. All right. Hold on, please. All right. Now, for those who do not know Al-Fadi, he is a Saudi, as I know, and he left Islam, and then he decided to become a Christian. But this is the first time ever I speak to him. You know, I never really spoke to this brother. I saw some videos of him actually after they told me about him. Okay, here we go. All right, let us see, share. All right, now he will have it. All right, here I will give him time to call if he want, if he is busy. However, I saw actually in the last few days, I saw many videos of Muslims who left Islam, and they are look like the number of those who they are exposing Islam from ex-Muslims is increasing, and they are really doing a good job. Now, all right, you got the link? Hello?
Yes, I got the link.
All right, now you can see the chat with me for those who they are listening.
Yes.
All right. So do you like to introduce yourself, brother Al-Fadi, to those who they are listening, if you don't mind? Hello? I look like we have
yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm saying, do you like to introduce yourself to those who they are listening with us?
Yes, sir. I will introduce myself. So thank you again for this invite, bro. I agree with you. There's a lot of us. Yes.
Yeah, try to listen to me from Skype only, not from YouTube, because that will make you have a double voice. You have to
That's
mute.
what I did.
Yeah, you have to mute one of them. All right.
I actually stopped you. Yeah.
All right.
Stopped the YouTube, I should say, so we're not having this echo.
All right.
Is this better now?
Yeah, it's good. We hear you.
Very good. So thank you again for the invite. And you're right. There's a lot of us now that are, at least I would say, coming forward. My prayer is that every former Muslim who embraces Christ as Lord and Savior will have the courage at least to come forward, because we need more and more people to encourage our Muslim friends to realize that Islam is corrupt and bankrupt, and it doesn't have anything in it. And there's a lot of us out there. With that said, some of you probably know me, others may not. I go by Abdul Fadi, and the reason why I chose this name, because the God of Islam has 99 names. Not a single one of them is a redeemer or a savior. So I volunteered that name for him for free. So I call myself the servant of the Redeemer, which is my Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm proud of that name, because only Christ can redeem me. I am a former Muslim from Saudi, and born and raised there. And I came to the Lord about 17 years ago, and I have my own ministry now, as some of you probably come across it, which is Sira International. So that's who I am.
Actually, I'm going to share. I'm going to show your page, if you don't mind, in Facebook in the screen. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Call me Christian. Don't call me sir. There's no sir here. You know,
Right.
we are brothers. Okay, guys, this is his Facebook page for those who like maybe to subscribe to his page. I'm sure he have a lot of things to share with you. Let me share it with you on the screen. So this is the page. This is his picture. All right, and I am sure he have some of the videos too of his own. Like the last video is called, I see here, 5 hours ago. Let us reason 505. What is Islam? Do you like to tell us what this video is about?
The Let Us Reason actually is my podcast, and
okay.
We are into our 3rd season actually.
All right. Well, I encourage people to subscribe and to learn from our brother here, because I'm sure he have a lot of to share. You see, me myself, I have a degree in Islam. I study Islam, but I am not an ex-Muslim, which means he have different experience from mine. Both of us, we speak Arabic. Both of us, we are coming from there, but still he have an experience I don't have, because I never been a Muslim, and that will make the story a little bit different, right?
I agree.
Like the one he was inside the fire is not the same as the one is watching. You know, it's different story. So it's always good to learn from someone who's an ex-Muslim, and especially someone who is from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a very strict country and society. So maybe, I don't know, you told me you don't have much time, but if you like, you can tell us, like, what happened to your family when they learned that you decided to leave Islam? Because I know how the Saudi, how strict they are, and somehow they are like, there is a madness there. For sure, they will kill you. They want to hate you. They want to. So, what about your family, and what happened when they find out that they decide to leave Islam?
Well, certainly they are extremely disappointed at me, and they feel like I disgraced them and the family. Of course, it's all about honor and shame, and not to mention I do receive threats as a result of this. But you know, at the beginning it's kind of intimidating, but you know, after all of these years, you begin to realize that our God put us in these places for a purpose, to open the eyes of our families and others, and He will protect us. So we shouldn't let fear intimidate us and dictate to us how we can serve Him. So
absolutely,
I know my Lord is always going to protect me, and He will always be there for me.
And you know, our protection here is not necessarily even in this earth. We have a promise that a man, he can have a power over our body, but he cannot have a power over our soul. So our salvation, nobody can take it from us, and the kingdom of the devil will not be having authority over us. Now, brother Abed, you have books? Do you have a books?
I actually co-authored a book called The Quran Dilemma, but you know, pray for me. As you know, ministry sometimes is very time-consuming, so I am working towards doing at least maybe one, maybe two, hopefully pretty soon, in apologetics of certain issues.
The Quran Dilemma is already there. Is done, right? It's they go to Amazon. They can
yes.
All right.
Yes, that's correct. People can get a copy in either Arabic or English, and I co-authored it with other former Muslims, and unfortunately they decided not to come forward out of fear, of course, not out of anything, but they are very knowledgeable people. So we pray for them that the Lord will protect them, and will use them. That's
wonderful. So guys, if any one of you would like to read his book, it's called The Dilemma of
the Quran Dilemma.
The Quran Dilemma, sorry, the Quran Dilemma. So you can search for it in Amazon, I guess, and you can find the book, maybe. Is that in Amazon?
I think they can find it in Amazon, and also they can find it on the blog itself. It's called theQuranDilemma.com.
Oh, right. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, if anyone have a question for Brother Abed, as long he is with us, you guys in the text, in the chat, and he is watching the chat with us too. So if anyone have a question, please feel free in the limited time he have, and he will be, I'm sure he will be happy to answer you. Don't hesitate. For me, I always cover issues about the Quran, what the Quran mean, the Hadith, etc. An education purpose. I'm sure. I don't know if you saw how I do my videos, but I'm sure you can cover something maybe they like to know. Somebody says to you how he came to find the Lord. Somebody is asking how you were, like how you became to Christian.
Well, that's an excellent question. Obviously, growing up as a Muslim in general, and especially in Saudi, you never think outside of Islam. In fact, you believe that Islam, according to the teaching of the Quran, to be the religion acceptable by God. And I like to call it the psychology of Islam. You think you're following the latest version of religion, the latest book that God revealed, the latest prophet that God sent, and therefore you are never going to think about anything that came before it. And one of the problems with Islam, and especially the Quran in particular, it makes you think there is a religion called Christianity. It never teaches you about a relationship that was restored through the cross. So you always look at Christianity as religion, and sadly, there are sometimes Christians that do make it look like a religion, and the idea of being born again, of course, is never even mentioned in the Quran, nor that I am aware of any Muslim who even know about these things, unless they get engaged, of course, with Christianity at levels like yours. So when I basically met a born-again couple for the first time, that's when I was thinking, I need to convert them to Islam. I opened the door for that discussion, and I began to hear things back from them that struck me, actually, concerning Christ and the cross. And also their lifestyle was a little bit unique and different, because I was already in the U.S. when that happened. And you come to the U.S. or go to Europe, you think the majority of people are born Christians. In other words, they inherited their religion of Christianity, just like Muslims inherit Islam. But when I noticed that this particular family was a little bit unique in their attitude, their behavior, compared to the other Christians, supposedly, and they were wonderful, and I'm asking myself, if their book has been corrupted, then how did they learn to behave this way? Originally, I didn't think much of it, but then I began to meet them over time, and I met their family, and I met their friends, and I met other church members from their church. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing that there is something about this group that makes them distinguishable from others. That opened my eyes. Now, it took me from that point until finally realizing that I need Christ as my Savior. It took 12 years. So it wasn't like overnight I just decided to go ahead and follow Christ. And also it took me this while, because I needed to understand what exactly was going on here, and why is it following Christ, not following Christianity. And by the grace of God, of course, the Holy Spirit convicted in my heart in a variety of ways, and brought so many people to my path. I argued with so many Christians along the way, but all of this didn't work, because at the end of the day, the massive amount of evidence that was before me about the fact that the Bible cannot be corrupt, because there isn't a single thing, a shred of evidence that proved that, even from the Quran, and the fact that Jesus came to die and the cross wasn't what I thought it to be. It's actually his main ministry, and the shadow of this ministry was there throughout the Old Testament. The big picture made sense to me, because you read the Bible, even if you read it on your own, you don't need an imam to tell you this. You read the Bible on your own, and you can at least grasp the picture from Genesis all the way to Revelation. Unlike the Quran, that you get lost the minute you start from Surah Al-Baqarah all the way until the end. You have no clue what's going on. Here, the Bible was very clear. And in addition to what I'm hearing, in addition to me also stubbornly trying to debate people that that's not true, that they are false, and they're thinking that Christianity is going to save them, all of this backfired at me. So it took me 12 years until finally I realized Jesus or nothing. And by the grace of God, I became a believer in Christ. So it was the lifestyle of believers, and it was the Word of God and the Holy Spirit for sure.
And actually, I believe that someone who used to be a Muslim, when he became a Christian, he will become a better Christian than the Christian themselves, because he suffer more to be who he is. You know, like there's some Christians, they take their faith for granted somehow. Like, you know, I grow in a Christian family, and yes, we believe that we are born again. But the person who move all the way from all his heritage, you know, it's not easy for someone to leave what he have to something he don't have. I mean, you will lose your family, you will lose even if you have money. I'm sure if you have money in Saudi Arabia, he cannot inherit anything now. He cannot go back there. He cannot see his family. He cannot even enter the airport. So to do that, you need a lot of courage, and you need a lot of passionate. You have to be very passionate to move from point A to point B, which you decide to be a Christian, because you have to sacrifice a lot of things. This is what
absolutely
will make someone like brother Al-Fadi is better than me, because, you know, he is he paid a high price to be a Christian. You know, for me, I'm a believer. I grow up in a Christian family. I have a mother who know the Bible by heart. Actually, you tell her 2 words of the Bible, she will tell you the rest of the chapter. So I did not really suffer and face what he faces. But imagine, guys, how amazing it is that he wanted to make somebody a Muslim. You know, the purpose was he wanted to invite someone to Islam, to convert him to Islam, and then he himself, he ended to be the one who became a Christian.
Indeed,
it's amazing.
And you know, all I can say, my brother, is what the Apostle Paul, who of course my Muslim people hate, and it's kind of funny, really. I don't know why they blame Paul for everything. Nevertheless, this is what the Apostle Paul says: "Indeed, I count everything as loss because of the surpassing worth of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord. For his sake I have suffered the loss of all things, and count him as rubbish, in order that I may gain Christ and be found in him." Indeed, that is the best gain I have.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you look like you are losing, but the fact you are. This is why when I debate with a Muslim, by the way, when he loses a debate with me, I said to him, "You won. You did not lose, because you lost. You lost. You know, when I make a person he lose his faith in Islam, he is the winner, not me. He is the one who is getting close to the truth, and this is the whole point. And regarding Paul, by the way. Once I asked a Muslim, how come your prophet never said about anything bad about Paul? He have no answer.
Exactly.
So why you Muslims talk about Paul? Paul, the one who's corrupt, you know, did that, and all those, funny. They call themselves scholars. Look like you Muslims, you have more knowledge from your prophet, because your prophet never mentioned Paul. So how your prophet?
Not only that,
yeah, and the Quran too.
Not only that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're having a delay. I apologize.
It's all right.
Not only that, you're correctly stating that the Quran in general never criticized Paul. In fact, the Quran even acknowledged that those who will follow Christ will be superior, that's the message that Paul and the apostles have been sharing after Christ also, and we have until today evidenced by historical documentations and everything else. But it's kind of funny because Muhammad himself actually copied something from Paul when he described heaven, and he says, no eye have seen, no ear have heard, and no thoughts came to the heart of man. I mean, true, Paul is the one who said that. Yeah, he copied it and he put it in his book as usual. Not only this, if you go to chapter 36, verse number 14, sorry, I think 14, yeah. It says, is أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث, right? So we sent to them 2 messengers, and then we string them with a 3rd, and then we go to the interpretation of the Muslims. All those scholars, the heavy duty scholars, not Abdul, not Zakir Naik, not those kids who making business. The real scholars of Islam, they will say to you that the name of the 3rd messenger which is mentioned in this verse is Paul. So Paul, and actually they named him as the following. They named him as Jonah, which means John, and Shamun, which Simon, and Paul, which is in Arabic is Boros. They named them by names, but the ignorant Muslims, because they are copy paste from each other. You know, the Muslims don't. They are a nation of ignorance. They don't read. They don't even read their books. Muslims, they copy from website and they paste to you.
He is not even reading what he is copying.
Absolutely, brother. Not only that, if you go to the verse that talks about the basically the supposed crucifixion of Christ, which I decimated in many videos already, and I hope the Muslims will be listening to the arguments we bring, and you brought it many times in your own, of course, debates and shows. If you go to chapter 4, verse 157, Surah An-Nisa, ayah 157, basically, when you go there and you read the commentators, some of them will tell you that Jesus had 13 apostles. I wonder where they got this idea from.
Yeah. Not only that, I mean, there's more details which sometimes is kind of astonishing. You know, everything about Jesus, where it's coming from. I mean, the Quran says nothing about Jesus. If you read the Quran, this Quran is an empty book. The Quran have time, this God, he have time to tell us about the speech happened between Sulaiman and the ant, and the flying carpet, and the chair of Sulaiman, and the ring of Sulaiman, and Sulaiman and speaking to the bird, and the bird he found him a woman, etc. All those stories which will not do any help for anyone. I mean, what the point of the story is? Nothing. It's a fiction story. But when it's come to Jesus, Quran says nothing about Jesus, just a few words. They did not crucify Jesus. That's it. I mean, shouldn't you give us details what happened? Like him in the cross. How this happened? Tell us. Those stories, all of them, they are coming from rejected books. Muslims, they copy from. Muhammad is copying from. I believe strongly, by the way. Now, you are from Saudi Arabia, but I don't know if you agree with me or not. I believe that Muhammad in his time, he never met with the Christians, really Christians. He met with the Nasara. And the Nasara are not a true version of Christianity. So Muhammad, he learned his version of Christianity from a Christian cult, not a Christian belief. What do you think about that?
Brother, I am 100% on board with this. And also, it's kind of interesting, by the way, if you study Christianity from the Quran, you will never find a single orthodoxy in there. And starting from the name of Jesus himself and going all the way from there. And it's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because one of my posts on Facebook, I asked, where is the word Christianity, Masihiyin? Where is it in the Quran?
We don't have.
Because that's how we are called.
Right.
Who are Nasara? I mean, it's kind of funny, but Muslims don't think about these things. They all just follow whatever they were said, they were fed, whatever the Imam, who, by the way, the Imam probably doesn't even speak Arabic in some places.
Right.
And they just blindly believe it.
You know, once I was little chat. I have little chat with someone. He's a Muslim. I met him in Asia. He thought first because I'm an Arab, you know, right away when they see you're an Arab, they assume you're a Muslim, right? So he assumed that I'm a Muslim. So he started, you know, people are walking by, and he said, "Look at those filthy Christians. Look at them. Look how the women. Look at that the woman how she is wearing. Look. You know." I said, "Why you are looking?" His eyes is following, you know. I said, if they are bad, why you sit in this place where women who wear those clothes are walking by? He said, no, I'm not looking really. I mean, what you can do, you close your eyes, women are walking by. I said, there's a hadith about the Prophet. A woman, she walked by and he got excited. So he went to his wife and he slept with her. Do you do that? He said, there's no such a thing. It's a lie. How you as a Muslim, you say that to me? I said to him, first of all, who said to you I'm a Muslim? Second, let me show it to you. Anyway, after 10 minutes, the guy here ran away. But this is the hypocrisy of the Muslims. They place their sin on you. Even the hadith actually says that in the judgment day, Allah, he will take the sin of the Muslims and he will place it on the Christians. They take what they do in their life and their practice, and they try to make themselves that they are the one who have dignity, and everyone else is filthy. Women, non-Muslim women, they are whores, they are bad, they are disgusting. All the Muslim women, she is the good women. So the way the Muslim try to present Islam to you is horrible. You know, they always try to put everyone down to prove themselves to be above the one who's down. They don't try to present themselves that we are good and we believe everybody needs salvation. They don't speak this way. The Muslims, in order to convince you that he is following the true God, he need to put you down. That's why they have to put down the Bible. They have to put down Jesus. They have to put down Mary. Even Muhammad, he said that he will sleep with Mary in heaven. They have to accuse you with any kind of accusation, because Islam cannot stand by itself. It's like both of us from the Middle East, and like in where I came from, there is a saying, like, a bad woman, she speak about every other woman to make them bad, because this is the only thing make her feel good.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Uh,
And another thing, my brother, in terms of talking about Christianity in the Quran, and how the Quran never mentioned anything about the Orthodoxy. In fact, there is new research uncovering now that it's quite possible Mecca is not where it is anyway, and that the connection between Muhammad and the Jews and the Christians was in a totally different area than the Arabian Peninsula.
Yeah, it's possible. Actually, I saw some documentary and study. It's very possible, but for me, I don't focus in those things. I focus in what we have in our hands, just to get Islam
That's right.
explained.
That's
because
right.
Those can be it's a theory. Some people believe in it, some people will not believe in it, even though it have a strong evidence. But I rather I prefer to focus in what we have in the hands, to show the Muslims how crazy the Quran is. Like when the Muslims they claim that the Quran have science, so I focus to show them that the Quran is not only not the book of science, it's the book of stupidity. The Quran is the book of science. This is madness. So I focus in things Muslims believe in, not in things they don't believe in, because my target is clear. We have to show them why it is wrong. Now, if somebody else he can have, let us say, different direction, that would be good, because that will make, let us say, the fight against this cult better. Like, you do your part, I do my part. I'm sure you do it in your own way. You use your own words, your own terms, and even maybe your own conditions when you speak to Muslims. I speak in different way, in the different terms, etc. But I think everyone, the Lord, he sponsored him somehow to open the eyes of the Muslims. So actually, I encourage people, by the way, as long you do live broadcast, right? You do live broadcast in your YouTube?
Not yet. I am going to venture into that, but maybe the two of us periodically. I love to do something like this right now, and hopefully, slowly and gradually, I will start doing also other live podcast and other also Facebook Live and other things like that as well.
Well, as long you are, you like to do that with me, feel free anytime you want to call. Every day at 4:30 p.m. New York time, I have live broadcast 7 days a week.
You got it, my brother.
All right. So anytime you feel like you have time, you do not need invitation. I mean, just give me a call. And actually, you can give me a break, because sometimes my voice get tired from answering all the questions. Because now we have somebody have a good expertise. I mean, sometimes you are afraid to give, let us say, the stage to someone he will teach wrong. You know what I mean? Because you do not know Islam. You speak Arabic, you are from there, so I will not be worried about you knowing or not knowing. You will be able to answer easy, and maybe you can do even better than mine. Any other question, guys, for our brother here? Anyone have a question, especially from the Muslims? Any Muslim there? He have a question? Any Muslim he have a question to our brother here, Al-Fadi? He is an ex-Muslim who became a Christian. If you have any question for him, please feel free.
So it looks like Michael Solomon has a question.
All right. Maybe you got it. All right. Let's see.
I don't know. What is the question, actually?
Michael, can you pose the question again, please? Maybe we have to scroll back to see what was his question. Michael Solomon. Maybe he can pose it again.
Okay, so how come Paulus, as the third messenger of Jesus, be made a messenger by a messenger? Well, you are assuming that Jesus is just a messenger. You see, this is the problem with Islamic teaching. Now, I don't know if you're a Muslim or not. Your name doesn't indicate that to me. But you are assuming that Jesus is just a messenger. Why not look at the big picture? Jesus is more than just a messenger. He is the Word of God. He is God incarnate. He is the Son of God. He is a messenger from God. He's a prophet indeed. But at the same time, Jesus as God has the power to send others as well. So as God, he can send anyone he wants, including Paul and others. So I don't see what the problem is.
I think he is saying what you are saying, but he is saying it as a question. Like, if Jesus is just a prophet as the Muslims claim, how the Quran says in the interpretation of Ibn Kathir as an example, that those are the messengers of Jesus. You know what I mean? This is what he's saying.
All right, Michael. So next time, bro, you need to tell me that you're not a Muslim so I don't get so excited like this.
That's a good one. Yeah, because what he's saying, if Jesus is just a prophet, and then how the Muslims in their interpretation they accept to say that those three, which is mentioned in the Quran to be the messenger of God, they are the messenger of Jesus. Because if Jesus is a prophet cannot make someone prophet. He cannot make him a messenger. To be a messenger of God, you have to be hired by God. God sent messengers, not a prophet or a messenger or a man. I cannot, if I am Musa's, I cannot make someone else Musa's like me. You know? So this is what he was saying, I guess.
Absolutely. And also it's kind of funny. Thank you, Michael, for saying this. And if there are Muslims here, I saw Jizya and others, maybe they can help me understand if this is really the big deal about Jesus the messenger in their mind, sending messengers, then Muslims should avoid using John 15:26 to talk about the helper that Jesus will send, because thank you for confirming that Jesus is the God of Muhammad.
Yeah, actually, even that one, when they say that, you know, you see, always I feel sorry for the Muslims. You know, like once a Muslim, he sent me a video saying that Muhammad is found in Isaiah 29, I think. But that verse is speaking about the hypocrite who says it's sealed. We cannot read it. You know, they worship God by their lips, but not by their heart. How you say that this is about your prophet? Well, I agree. Obviously, it's about someone like your prophet. Those are the hypocrites who worship God by their lips, but they don't believe in him in their heart. And this is what always we say. The Muslims don't even read what they are talking about. You know?
Absolutely. Context is very important.
Yeah, they copy paste. You know, a Muslim who said that to you, they hear that and etc. But nobody asks himself, what if this guy is wrong? You know, I mean, how solid this statement is, and why the Muslims need to find the name of Muhammad in our Bible, and even the name of Muhammad is not Muhammad. The Quran itself gives Muhammad many names. Which one of them? And the Quran says that Isa, he mentioned that a prophet will come after me. His name is Ahmad. All right. So why you Muslims find Muhammad if his name is Ahmad? You know?
So thank you for the Quran, because Mirza Ghulam Ahmad took that seriously and started Ahmadiyya Islam.
Right. Actually, this is a good point. Mirza Ghulam, you know, by the way, this Mirza Ghulam is very funny. I mean, I don't know if you study their books. It's the Ahmadiyya is a very funny religion. Once the Christians, they came to Ahmad Mirza Ghulam, and they brought him like 40 disabled people in front of his house, and they said to him, well, if you are claiming to be the Messiah, well, do what the Messiah does. Okay, we have a blind, we have a person who cannot walk, we have, you know, name it. So what Ahmad Mirza Ghulam, he said, he closed the door and he said, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. That's it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but yet he claimed to be the Messiah, and yet there is a human being, he believed in such a false man like this. And this is telling you that a human being, when he stay away from the true God, he is exposed to all kind of cults. You know, like it's like as if you are walking in the jungle and there's many beasts, and everybody want to take a bite of you. You know, Ahmadiyya want to take a bite. The Islamic religion have tons of sects, and you know better than me how much they hate each other, and everybody want to take a bite of each other too. And actually, this is enough to prove that Islam is a false religion, Because if Islam is coming from the true God, how Muhammad he say as an example that my religion will become 73 sect and one of them will go to heaven, and me, if I convert to Islam, how I'm going to go to heaven? How I will know which sect is the one should I follow? What do you think, Al-Fadi?
Roll the dice, brother. Roll the dice.
Even if you play cards, you have better choice. I mean, better chance, right? If you play card, I don't play cards, but I mean, if you play cards, you will have a better chance from converting to Islam, because in Islam, your choice is 1 to 73. 1 to 73. If you play card, your chance is 4 to 52. Actually, not 4, 8. I think they give 8 cards. I don't know. I played when I was like young, very teenage. So the card, the gambling is better than the religion of Islam. It's a huge gambling. You gamble with your salvation, and your choice to be following the correct religion is 72 to 1.
And I mean, you have Sunni and Shia have been fighting for 1400 years. Imagine now if the 72 will become the only religion on the face of this earth. How many of them are going to kill each other?
And all of them, they will kill each other, because even the one who is supposedly the correct one, have the duty to kill its own. Because how you know who is the one, the correct one? Everyone. It's a masquerade. It's a religion of madness. And by the way, like when we say Muslim 73 sect, obviously this is additional prophecy which is false, because Islamic sects is beyond hundreds. What's 73? In India alone, they have like maybe 50 to 60 sects. So what's 73 sects? The Sunni alone, they have many sects, not only like the 4 branches as they call them, Shafi'i and Hanbali, etc. No, there's more sects. And the same for the Shia. There and there's other religion which have nothing to do really. I mean, it's a mix of religion, like the Ahmadiyya and the Ismailiyya and the Duruz and every one of them believe that they are the right one, and everyone else will go to hell. However, the Quran is so clear that if there is a group of the Muslims became apostate, the Muslims have to kill that group. So if the 72 groups, as you said, they are the apostate one, then the correct group have to slaughter every Muslim, which means and Muhammad, by the way, he said, if you remember the hadith, he says, بدأ الإسلام غريبا وسوف يعود غريبا. Islam,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Islam start with a few. غريبا here is about a few, and will end with a few. So if the correct followers of Muhammad is the few, that means what? Percentage maybe 1 to 73. So from every 73 Muslims, only one person should survive, and the Muslim should kill the 72. And that is impossible, because there's no way the minority will be able to destroy the majority.
Amen. Amen, brother.
Yeah. Anyone have a question for Al-Fadi? Especially Muslims, if you have a question, feel free. Maybe you have a question. Maybe you want to examine him if he was a Muslim, because you know what the Muslims do, right? When somebody says I used to be a Muslim, they start giving you silly questions like how many rak'ah you pray in the funeral.
Okay.
It's very funny when you see a Muslim, he says to you, nobody leave Islam. Nobody, my friend. Muslims, you never heard of something called the war of apostate? From the beginning, the time, yeah, I don't know if you can enlighten some information about apostate movement since the time of Muhammad. We remember what happened in Yemen and what happened in around Mecca and the war of Abu Bakr. Apostate is a great event in Islam, and there's a scholar, his name is Al-Qaradawi, I'm sure you know him. He said, if not Abu Bakr used the sword, Islam today will not exist.
That is true, and and if not for Uthman, we wouldn't have at least a copy of something called the Quran, even though it's not exactly the same as the one that supposedly was revealed. And it was just so funny, really. is like, why would people leave Islam immediately after the death of Muhammad? Doesn't that tell you anything about how they felt anyway, and they were intimidated when he was alive?
Yeah. And what about the copy of Uthman itself? We don't have it. Who have a copy of Uthman? Nobody. They don't even have a single page of Uthman book. They have the oldest version they have is 300 years after Muhammad. They claim it's 300 years after Muhammad, but that is not Uthman book. So they don't have the book of Muhammad. They don't have the book of Uthman. And not only this, I'm not sure if you know that the book of Al-Bukhari does not even exist. The book of Al-Bukhari and the book of Sahih Muslim, we cannot find them. Where is Al-Bukhari? I challenge a Muslim to show me where is the book of Al-Bukhari. There's no such thing. So all of Islam does not exist. Quran does not exist. Bukhari does not exist. Sahih Muslim, and you know that if Sahih Muslim and Bukhari does not exist, what is left of Islam?
Nothing but emotions. It's an emotional apologetic. That's all.
And the funny, you know, Hafs, the story of Hafs, right? Hafs is the one who the Quran of Uthman is reported by. Now, Hafs never existed at the time of Uthman, right?
Right, that's correct.
So what they say to us, this is the Quran according to Hafs. If you open the Quran, I'm sure you have an Arabic copy of the Quran, you will see it says there, let us see, كتب هذا المصحف وضبط على ما يوافق رواية حفص ابن سليمان ابن المغيرة الأسدي الكوفي according to Asim ibn Najud al-Kufi al-Tabi'i, according to Abdul Rahman Abdullah ibn Habib al-Sulma, according to Uthman ibn Affan, according to Ali ibn Abi Talib, according to Zayd, etc. According. But Hafs never saw Muhammad, and this person was exist almost 200 years after Muhammad. This is what they have, according to Hafs. And if you go to the Muslims' books, you will find that Hafs was called a liar and a thief. Did you come through this information, Al-Fadi?
I look at these, and I look also sometimes they try to weasel their way into this idea that there were actually reporters that lived at the time of the Prophet. And you look at these names and you discover that Bukhari and Muslim used maybe like 5 or 6 or maybe 8 of these hadith, even though the person has probably 1,000 hadith. What does that tell you? He didn't even believe that these people actually reported something accurate. So everything about Islam is kind of funny, really. I mean, the Quran, who is this Uthman who decided which dialect to be read, how many chapters have to be left? He even decided that to split 2 chapters, chapter 8 and 9. You know, that's really interesting. I mean, who gave him that authority to do something like this? And
Hafiz, he was any hadith from Hafiz is rejected. You know that? Imagine they accept the Quran of Hafiz, they refuse the hadith of Hafiz. Why? Because Hafiz is kadhab. He's a liar. This is madness. How a person you consider him a liar, you refuse any hadith from him, it's not accepted right away. You go right now to Sahih al-Bukhari, go right now to Sahih Muslim, as you said. How many hadith they are coming from Hafs? 0. I never saw a hadith coming from Hafs. Why? Because Hafs is rejected. He's a liar. Kazzab. Not only Kazzab, it says in the interpretation of the Muslim in the reference that Hafs was a Kazzab, he's a liar, and he used to steal books and he claimed it for himself, which means he will borrow the book of Al-Fadi, and then he will take it and he will write it again and he will say, oh, this is my book. He just changed some words in it. So he is a fraud.
Right. Yeah. And Abu Huraira, there's a lot of questions about it, but I have 2 questions here. Jean Baptiste, I think it's the name, is asking about any survey, poll estimates of number of apostates or believers in Saudi. Those numbers are hard really to come by. I can tell you there is an atheist movement in Saudi, and it's guesstimated that is about at least 200,000 maybe Saudis, kind of whether truly or not they declared themselves to be atheists. So we know there's something happening. As far as believers, you hear the number 50, 60,000. I like to err on the side of cautious. I would say maybe 5,000. That will be a fair estimate, but no one in right mind in Saudi is going to come forward publicly and say, I left Islam and I became a believer in Christ.
Yeah, no way. This,
now the other question was, go ahead, brother.
No, go ahead.
Furnace was asking a question, and he says, you know, what are the common questions Muslims ask? It's the usual objection. I mean, it's they always ask you, of course, about me. For instance, they ask if I was really a Muslim and things like that, and if they want to ask a thing about Christianity, they always ask you the Bible is corrupt. You know, Jesus was never crucified. I mean, the usual. It never really ends. It's the exact same argument over and over again.
And they repeat the same question. Even you answer the question today, tomorrow they will come back with the same question. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They think we're dumb. And what I like about it is, like, when I post something, you post something, let's say, about a variant reading of the Quran. The first comment from a Muslim is about the Trinity. And I'm like, my gosh, where is the word Trinity in here? I didn't even talk about the Trinity yet.
Yeah.
They don't have an answer for anything. You can go to all the posts I've done so far. This is to everybody here in Facebook. Find me a single answer to any of the questions that I ask. And they're all simple. We're not even asking complicated questions.
There's no answer for anything. I think this is a religion, have no answer for anything. You know, this is why I have a session of videos. It's called Allah Knows Best. Because you ask a Muslim, the scholar, not the normal one, right away he talked for 1 hour, and then after 1 hour you learn nothing. He make you more confused, and he closed the speech by saying Allah knows best. But yet there's no answer. By the way, Al-Fadi,
exactly.
Next time if you want to call, if you like to be in the screen, if you like to use your camera and people they can see you, feel free. If this is what, if you like to do so, maybe that will make them see you. For me, I use the screen usually to just to provide reference, you know, just to show the hadith, the Quran, etc. But if you like to be using the camera, just let me know, and we can have it easy in the screen, and people they can see you.
Not a problem, brother. I'm really honored to be here, and Lord willing, let's plan on average once a week I will be with you, and you and I can probably arrange beforehand about a specific topic if you have something in mind, of course, or we can play it just by ear like this.
Yeah, usually I don't have a topic really, because you know I am in let us say I'm always ready. You know what I mean? So I make just a name, and then I start, and people start asking me questions, and then the questions will lead the conversation, the same as we are doing right now, because that is I believe it's better because people they have needs, and if you answer their questions, this is the needs.
Right.
Preset topics usually they are make people sleepy, because it's not my topic. I did not choose it, you know. But if somebody asking a question and we answer him live, that will make it more interesting and more good experience for them to learn. So if you can choose a day which you wish, well, I don't know what your schedule, how it is, and you tell me that this day will be me and you once a week as you choose, we will inform everybody. However, we have to do it at 4:30, because this is my schedule every day, you know. So you can choose the day, but I have no choice but to choose the time, because already we are set with this time.
Oh, sure, brother. I mean, yeah, like I said, you and I can decide.
Yeah, just let me know if you when you can do it. Anyone have other question? Do we have any Muslim here? Somebody is asking about the miracle of number 19. How do you respond to the so-called miracle number in the Quran, like 17 and 19? What do you say, brother Fadi?
You know, I can tell you, if you want details, Jay Smith, Lord bless his heart, got into it, you know, with formulas and stuff. That's a brain damage to me. All I can tell you is this: if you can prove to me as a Muslim, I'm talking in general right now, don't take it as if I'm telling you who's asking the question. If you are a Muslim who's asking this question, if you can prove to me that the Quran that you have today is exactly the same Quran that was revealed, and you have manuscript to support this, I'll be willing to talk to you about that. Other than that, you know that there is so many Qurans and so many number of passages, and some of them are missing verses and some of them have more verses. So it's impossible really to come up with a formula to support this idea.
Actually, I made many videos about this, and actually it is in my books too. I will answer him. You do not
there
need,
you go.
You do not need James Smith, because James, he don't speak Arabic still, so his answer will be short of the valid answer at the end. You know, brother Al Fadi, he speak Arabic like me. So Al Fadi, when we say bism, there's no such a thing as called bism. It is bi-ism. Is that correct?
Bi-ism.
All right. So the Muslim, they base their numbers based on what? Based in taking letters off from the correct Arabic. Even the original Quran, it doesn't have bism. It is bi-ism. There's many websites I can show to Muslims live right now, right here, where the Muslim, they explain why the letter alif is taken off. So the word of bi-ism is written like this: bi-ism. I'm writing in the screen for the one who asking question. But if you look at the one in the top, the letter here is gone. So the Muslims, they are counting wrong numbers of the letters. Same time, the same we find in Ar-Rahman. Ar-Rahman is written the correct way, is written this way: Ar-Rahman. And you find the alif here, even in the Quran they have today, printed today. But when they count the number of 19, they don't count those letters. So those letters alone will make their miracle damaged, because now we don't have 19, we have a 21. Correct? If we continue the same in the same chapter, because the Ar-Rahman is mentioned more than one time, and the Rahim mentioned more than one time, and that will break the number, will make it 24, 25, etc. So all of this fiction about the number 19 is nothing but a lie. Same time, my friend, the first one who created the false miracle of Ar-Rahman, his name is Rashad Khalifa. Rashad Khalifa, in order to do that, he have to cut verses from the Quran off. He delete them. This is why the Muslims, they killed him in Arizona. We can go right now and search why Rashad Khalifa was killed. This guy, in order to make the Quran fit with the miracle he have, he cut off verse from the Quran, saying those must be fabricated, take them off, and that will make the numbers accurate. And actually, even in his, after he cut in the verses, just by the argument I just gave you in the screen, will destroy his argument. And additional to this, why Muslims, they need number 19? I mean, why Allah don't say to us we have a miracle in the Quran? What you know what I mean, Fadi? Why they don't say Allah? Why Allah don't say about number 19?
No kidding. And it's kind of funny, by the way, because in the Quran, as you know, brother, the number of gates into hell is 19 and guarded by 19 angels. There you go. That's where the number is coming from.
I don't know. Sometimes I find that the Muslims are very funny, and they are so desperate to find something in the Quran. This is how I see it. You see, why a Christian, he will not go to look for something like this in the Bible? Because we have Jesus who did everything nobody can do. Even in the Quran, Jesus spoke in the cradle. You see, Muhammad, he waited 40 years before he can claim to be a prophet. Jesus in the Quran, he spoke in the cradle, which means from the first second he is a prophet of God. Now the Muslims, they say to us that Muhammad was following Abraham before he became a prophet. What do you think about that?
Yes, sir, absolutely. This is an excellent argument. And not only that, not only he waited and was distressed and was going to commit suicide, but even he didn't name the angel Gabriel for 14 years. If you study the name Gabriel in the Quran alone, they always bring the hadith. I say the hadith was written 200 years later. It's easy to write his name in the hadith because it was 200 years later. Show me in the Quran that this is the angel that appeared to him, and show me in one sentence that it was called Gabriel. You can find it. 14 years later, Muhammad finally named him because it dawned on him that he must be Gabriel.
When Muhammad, he first time he met this person who he is supposedly Jibreel, this so-called angel, he never said a word about who he is. He didn't say his name, and the funny, he did not even greet him with peace. You know, if you remember when the angel, supposedly the same angel, the Muslim, they say it's Jibreel. When the angel came to Mary, what the angel said to Mary in the Bible, Fadi? No, when the angel came to Mary, not to Muhammad. In the Bible,
of course.
He said to her,
it's always
he said to
in
her,
the
Shalom.
Bible, always peace be upon you. Always
See?
starting with something like this, or
Shalom to
you know,
you.
some comfort, you know.
Yeah, Shalom to you, Mary. So why the same angel came to Muhammad? He did not say to him, Shalom to you, Muhammad. For God? And they say and they claim that this is the greeting of Islam, but Islam did not start with Shalom. This is a greeting was stolen from the Christians, from the Jews, have nothing to do with the Muslims. If we go in the Quran, I will show them this verse in the Quran. Guys, read with me. This is a chapter 42, verse number 52. Chapter 42, verse number 52. You can read any translation you want. It says, Allah saying to Muhammad, read with me please, let us see, make it clear in the screen. Thus we have have we by our command sent inspiration to thee, thou knowest not before what was revelation and what was faith. What does that mean? Muhammad, he do not know what revelation and he do not know what faith. So how Muslim they lie to us, they say that Muhammad was following Abraham. A person who have or being following Abraham, he have faith. What do you think of Fadi?
Yeah, I'm looking at right now just Al-Tabari, and that's exactly what he's saying, that you, Muhammad, you didn't know anything about revelation nor faith. Faith in who? Faith in Allah, of course, in God.
So Muhammad was a kafir.
Exactly.
He was an atheist, maybe. So Muslims,
you know,
how he's following Abraham? Anybody can explain to us?
You know, I'm not trying to defend Muhammad, but sometimes I feel like if Muhammad is alive right now, he's going to even rebuke the Muslims for making up stories about him.
Yeah, I mean, Muhammad is Abrahamic. He follow Abraham. Even his families, all of them, they believe in, none of them believe in Allah. Even Muhammad, father, he's going to hell, according to Muhammad. So how Muhammad he learned about Abraham and he became an Abrahamic? Any Muslim can tell me? His grandfather is not Abrahamic. His uncles are not Abrahamic. His father is not Abrahamic. Well, how Muhammad will be Abrahamic? And actually, even the name of Muhammad's father is very fishy, because how his father name is Abdullah, but you don't believe in Allah.
Exactly.
Imagine my name is the slave of the Messiah, but I don't believe in the Messiah. I mean, this will be funny. Obviously, this name changed later because it was an insult. His name was an insult to Muhammad. So Muhammad, he changed his first name from Qatham to Muhammad, which means the praised one. And they changed the last name of his father to fit with the name of the new religion, Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Or in Arabic, and you know, if somebody have unknown father, they say he is a son of Abdullah. You know what I mean, Fadi?
Right.
Guys, for those who don't know Arabic, in Arabic, if we say someone is unknown, we say Abdullahi Fulan, the slave of Allah, which means unknown. We do not know. His name is not known. So either Muhammad, he changed the name of his father, or the name which he was called by, he is a son of unknown father. And actually, me myself, I believe that Muhammad is the son of Waraq ibn Nawfal. And the proof, you can find that in my books. You can go and see the description of Allah, and you can read. Waraq ibn Nawfal, his sister, she offered herself to the father of Muhammad, supposedly based on the story, and she offered him 100 camel to sleep with her, which is obviously, I don't believe in such a, I mean, come on, a woman, she would offer a man 100 camel to sleep with her. Do you know what 100 camel? 100 camel right now in Saudi Arabia will make you rich. Is that correct, Fadi? Right now, as we speak today, 100 camel will make you a rich man. So imagine 100 camel in the time before Muhammad. This is a lot of money just to sleep with her. But the story there, obviously they have a root. Waraqa, I believe, he sent his sister to the father of Muhammad, or the one who claimed to be his father, and she offered herself to him, because the story says when he was going to meet Amina to marry her, but we know the Arab, they don't really have marriage, they have nukah. So he was going to sleep with her. Sister of Waraqa, she offered herself, and she offered him even money to stop him from going there. And then the father of Muhammad, he said to Waraqa's sister, well, I will be back to you, but I have to go first to Amina, which means he have to sleep with her first. And look like Muhammad's father used to work as a gigolo, because a man get money for sex, he is nothing but a gigolo. Then he went to the mother of Muhammad, he slept with her, and then when he came back to the woman she offered herself, which is a sister of Waraqa, she said, I have no needs of you no more. So if you think about it, Muhammad always was found with Waraqa. Even when Muhammad was lost, there's a story of Muhammad when he was lost as a child. The whole tribe was looking for him. Everybody was looking for Muhammad. Nobody can find it. And suddenly he came with Waraqa. So Waraqa existence in the life of Muhammad is extremely important. Actually, the hadith says, and I'm sure brother Al-Fadi, he knew that when Waraqa he passed away, Muhammad he tried to commit suicide.
Yeah, he was depressed.
Why? Why? You know, imagine. I mean, you and me, we have a family, and I don't know. Like my father, he passed away. I was sad. I was upset, but I would not commit suicide. Right? It doesn't make sense. So why the prophet is trying to commit suicide? Any Muslim can tell us?
And that's very disturbing, by the way, brother, because in the Bible you don't read about a single prophet who wanted to commit suicide for supposedly revelation stopped. He was receiving revelation from God or from a man.
It doesn't make sense. You know, and it's against God too to commit suicide. Actually, even Muhammad himself, that the one who he said, the one who commits suicide, he will be like he will spend his eternity in hellfire. So how he is saying that, yet he tried to commit suicide? You see, if you read with me the hadith in front of our eyes, all right, it says that Waraq ibn Nawfal, he used to translate whatever Allah allowed him to do, the gospel. Guys, read with me. And this is the Quran. This is the true version of the Quran which Waraqa was writing. It says, Waraqa was the son of his paternal, let's clear it, hold on. No. Okay. So Waraqa supposedly is a cousin of Khadija, or from her family, and he is, sorry, a cousin for her, a cousin of her uncle. And during the pre-Islamic period, he became a Christian. The fact it doesn't say he became a Christian, he became Nasara. He became Nasara, and that's what we say, that Nasara are not Christians. And he used to write an Arabic writing, and he used to write of the gospel in Arabic as much as Allah wished him to write. And here, Al-Fadi, I don't know if you can put your input in this. If Waraqa in the time of Muhammad was writing in Arabic, the Bible, was he writing from the corrupt one?
I mean, that's definitely a good question. Sometimes we wonder if he was writing from just extra biblical books, and Muhammad thought it to be the Bible, because we know that Muhammad took things from the Midrash and the Mishnah and other rabbinic writings and made him to look like revelations. No wonder the Jews mocked him and laughed at him.
So, and as you see, Muhammad, he accepts his teaching. He is his highest consultant. He is the one, actually, he told him that you are going to see an angel. So there is no way a person who is guided by Allah, obviously Allah guide him, he is writing from a false book. Now the question is, where is the book of Waraqa, Muslims? What happened after Waraqa died? Obviously this was the Quran. Do you agree with me? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Because
brother.
there's a book. You know, there's a book written by Waraqa according to the Muslims. Read it in front of your eyes. And this was a translation supposedly, or as Allah he wished him to do, from the Arabic gospel to from the Hebrew gospel or Aramaic to Arabic. And read with me carefully what the hadith says. The hadith says, as Allah wished him to write. Do you see it, Muslims? So this guy, obviously, he was doing the wish of Allah, and there is no way Allah is going to make him write from the corrupt gospel. And then when Muhammad he died, sorry, when Waraqa he died, Muhammad was upset. Why? Because it says here that the inspiration paused, which means Muhammad is still stopped receiving verses of the Quran from Allah. So he decided to commit suicide. And then you will see that the solution of the problem was very simple and easy. I believe Muhammad he found a solution, which is, well, Waraqa he wrote a book, let me grab his book, and that will be where I get my Quran from. So whatever Waraqa he wrote before he died, Muhammad he put it in the Quran later. And look here, read with me, Muslims. It says, and Waraqa died, and the divine inspiration was paused for a while, and the Prophet became so sad, as we heard, that he intended several times to throw himself from the top of the high mountains. Now, a person who tried to commit suicide, according to you, Al-Fadi, what do you think of that? I mean, is that somebody stable, you have a brain problem? What do you think?
Can you? I'm sorry, bro. You were cut off. Can you repeat just the last part?
I'm saying, based on the hadith we see in front of us, when Muhammad tried to commit suicide, if you study a little bit of science, you can read articles about it. Why a human being he commits suicide? What is the reason?
Well, I mean, certainly I can say there is depression involved here. Somebody who is doubting himself. There is demonic, basically, possession. There is mental issues. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that go into that.
Okay, you mentioned doubting himself. That's a good statement, because in the Quran we find that Muhammad he don't even believe he's a prophet, and there is a very big question mark about this verse, because if Muhammad is a prophet of God, how he don't believe he's a prophet of God, which is very, very weird. It says in Arabic, if you are in doubt about what we gave to thee, go and ask the Christians and the Jews, those who have the scriptures before you. فإن كنت في شك مما أنزلنا إليك فاسأل الذين يقرؤون الكتاب من قبلك. If you have a doubt about what we revealed to thee, go and ask the Christians and the Jews about what we revealed to you. So Muhammad, he himself, he don't believe he's a prophet. Why a prophet of God? He don't want to believe that he is a prophet of God. I mean, this is the most funny story ever. A prophet of God, he don't want to believe he's a prophet of God. The prophet of God been told by God to go and ask the Christians, because he have a doubt about him being a prophet of God.
Right.
Any Muslim have a comment from those who are in the chat? Any Muslim like to call us? Say something. Why a prophet of God is not sure he is a prophet of God? And by the way, when Muhammad he received this verse, Muhammad already he received more than 10 chapters in the Quran. It's too late. I mean, if this had happened in the first verse Muhammad received from the Quran, I understand. If this is the second verse, the second day, the second week, now Muhammad is a prophet already for years. Now you are in doubt about yourself if you are a prophet or not. How such a thing can happen? Now we have a guy on a call, but I'm not sure if I can make him join our conversation here. Let me see if it's possible to he's a Muslim, by the way. His name is Nightmare from Morocco, and by the way, this guy, he is 50 years old, but always he thought that his God Allah is a spirit, which is very funny. I mean, how a person, he do such a mistake. He believe in Islam, but he do not know if his God is a spirit or not. Let me see if I can invite him to join us. In okay, I will give you a ring, Nightmare. All right. Please don't shout and don't use a bad language. All right. And I will let you speak to a brother Al-Fadi. I will leave it between you and him. Let us see what he can do. What do you think, guys? Let us see. I'm going to send you an invitation. Please join us. All right. Are you there, Nightmare? Nightmare, are you there? Answer, please. I send you an invitation. All right. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do. I hope Al-Fadi hear you too. Do you hear Al-Fadi?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
All right, good. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just talking about, you said that the prophet didn't know that he was a prophet. That's what you said?
Well, it's not me who's saying that. The verse is saying that. Don't you see it?
Okay. All right, let me explain to you the verse.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. No, because I get tired anytime you talk and you say this guy didn't know that his God is not a spirit. How many times you repeat that?
I mean, is it true or okay? Doesn't matter. Is it true? Is it true or a lie? How a man is 50 years old do not know that? I mean.
Well, okay, how a man like you, I don't know how you are. You are probably 30, 40. You are a native Arab speaker, and you call the word Tawheed a verb. Unification is a verb.
Yeah, word Tawheed means unification.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, very embarrassing. Okay, go.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's very embarrassing that you do not know even if your God is a spirit or not. And I showed it from the dictionary. I showed it from the dictionary, Nightmare. I showed it from the dictionary what Tawheed mean. They are trying to change the topic. We will go after you finish this one, answer this one, and we'll go to Tawheed.
It's not a verb. It's not a verb. It's a noun.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Go on. We will go back.
Okay. Okay. This verse, is if you are in doubt about what we revealed to you, ask those who read the scripture. Okay. The word is there. The word in question. I'm gonna put it in Arabic. In. You know what is in? Is in. In Arabic, we have two types of conditional words. One is called ida. Okay. One is called in. Ida looks like if in English, okay, which does not exist in the verse. We don't have ida. It says in. In is the word used in the verse, but it has hypothetical meaning. Okay. It says, Cordoba says that the insertion of the letter F to the conditional word in look like this. Fa'in does not mean that the action occurred or whether or not it occurs. The conditional word in, is used often on what is not realizable, even used with the non reasonably possible thing, as in the verse 43 and 81 says, in the most gracious had a son, I will be the first to worship. The credibility of the conditional sentence does not depend on its occurrence as it's displayed. Okay, it was known among Arabs from their speech to talk like that. For example, a man may say to his son, in you are my son, then be kind to me. And he does not doubt that his son is his son. Ibn Abbas, okay, this is the best. He's saying the meaning of the verse 1094. He said, then ask those who read the book before you. Book meaning the Torah and the Injil. Before you are the people of the book who believe in Muhammad. He said, ask them if you are in doubt that you have been mentioned in the script. Okay, that's so the word. Another one, Sa'id ibn Jubayr was asked about the verse, 10 for it. If you are in doubt, etc. He said, Prophet never doubted, nor he asked.
All right.
And also including Qatada.
You finish? You finish?
He said,
you finish?
He told, let me finish. Just 1 minute. He told us that the messenger of Allah said, after he received the story, he said, I don't doubt and I will not ask.
All right. Okay.
This is
in the same book you are reading for me from. After I will give you a short answer, and I will give the mic to Brother Al Fadi to speak to you. In the same book you are reading from, Al-Qurtubi, it says, والمعنى لو if you have any doubt about what we've been taught to you, then فسألت أهل الكتاب لأزالوا عنك الشك. So Allah is saying clearly, if you have a doubt about what we gave to you, we should go and ask the Christians, and they will take any doubt from your mind. This is Al-Qurtubi, the same book you are mentioning and you are reading for us from. And I will leave the rest to Brother Al-Fadi to speak to you. Go ahead, Al-Fadi.
Hi, Nightmare. Thank you for joining here. I just wanted to ask you, you alluded to Qurtubi, who's about 600 years, give or take, after the time of the Prophet. You also made reference to some statements that Ibn Kathir also alluded to, which is about 700 years later. How come you didn't look at the Tabari? Because the Tabari is being honest enough to say that God is telling Muhammad, if you are in doubt about the truth concerning what we have told you, what we revealed to you, that the people of Israel should find you in their books, then go and ask some of them, like Abdullah ibn Salam. So why would Al-Tabari, who is the closest out of these other sources to the time of Muhammad, about 300 years later, actually capture the essence of the verse just exactly like CP mentioned it also?
Okay. Well, you believe that Ibn Abbas is before Tabari? Okay.
I do believe Ibn Abbas before Tabari.
Yeah, well, then Ibn Abbas, he said that meaning the Torah. You can ask them whether you are mentioned if you are in doubt that you have been mentioned in their scripture.
I guess the question is this: why does he have to ask people and not trust in God?
Well, I just said the word in. You know what is the word in Arabic mean? It's hypothetical. You don't use it. Doesn't say ida.
What led to this? What led to this? If I'm going to tell somebody, if I'm going to tell my son, if you are doubting me, go and ask what led to this conversation, unless my son really was arguing with me, or I sense that he's really not buying 100% everything I told him.
No, because it doesn't say ida. Okay, if that's ida, it says in. In is suppose, assume. There's big difference.
Okay. So Nightmare. So Nightmare, you are saying that your Allah, he make an assumption which is not exist. So he is not God. He is saying, if you have such a thing, but Muhammad, you don't have it anyway. So Allah, he was wrong. He's assuming that Muhammad, he might have it, but Muhammad never have. Okay, so but Allah, he now is talking about a man.
He's just making hypothetical. You know this verse?
Thank you for mentioning that. What was the purpose of saying in kana lirrahmani waladan, unless it was to argue against the Christians' claim? So there was a reason for it. So what's the reason here?
What do you mean? What was the reason for?
What's the reason for فَإِن كُنْتَ فِي شَكٍّ مِمَّا أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ? Why did your God have to make this hypothetical assumption? What's the object lesson here? Who is he teaching?
No, I can answer that question, because that's what I know.
Is it complicated? I'm asking a simple question. Is it that complicated?
Or what I know, that in is different than ida. In does not indicate the materialization of the occurrence. It rather indicates the possibility and the probability of the occurrence.
Brother Nightmare, let me ask you this question. You, right now, apparently talking from a grammatical standpoint. Okay, great. I respect that. Tell me about the average Muslim now who's going to hear this. What do you think they're going to think?
The Muslim who doesn't know Arabic, that's what I try to say?
Or doesn't know this grammatical condition that you just mentioned. The difference between ida and in.
No, of course, you have to ask a scholar for interpretation of the verse.
Oh, so their salvation depends on a scholar. So we go back to a human being. That's my point.
Not only this, read with me, please, on the screen. Nightmare and brother Al-Fadi, read with me on the screen. It says, وَإِن كُنتُم فِي رَيْبٍ مِمَّا نَزَّلْنَا عَلَى عَبْدِنَا. The same statement. They were in rape, they were in doubt or not? Is it hypothetical? In kuntum fi raib, you are saying this it's not happening. It's not the same as either, you know. But Allah, He uses it only even for the kuffar. He says the same statement. If you have a doubt about what we sent to our slave, bring a verse like this. So there is a story. There is something happening there. Muhammad, he have a doubt about his belief.
No, what the prophet says after he listened this verse, he say, let me say, I don't doubt and I will not ask. That's what the prophet said.
So Allah was wrong. So Allah was wrong. Allah, He says to him, if you have a doubt, but Muhammad, he don't have a doubt.
Assumption.
What kind of assumption? Okay. Imagine if I say to you assumption, but I am God. You see, assumption can be accepted from a man because he do not know. I say to you, if you are hungry, go and eat in the kitchen because I am making an assumption. But maybe you are hungry.
You make assumption as something. It's like, for example, you can say, for example, if I were president, I will do. You're just making an assumption. You know?
Yeah, I make an assumption because I am as a human make an assumption. God, He knew if Muhammad he have a doubt or not. So what the purpose? This is what Al-Fadi is asking you. Why he's asking him if you have a doubt? If you don't have a doubt, do Allah knows that Muhammad don't have a doubt? So what now? What we learn from this? I mean, what is the point of this if Muhammad he don't have a doubt?
I can't answer that question.
You cannot answer everything. You cannot answer. Look. You know, Muslims always, they cannot answer anything which look embarrassing. Same time, Allah, He knows everything, and Allah is making an assumption which is a false assumption, but yet He's God. Allah is making if you are in doubt in what we reveal to you, ask the Christians. So, but he don't have a doubt. So Allah is giving him a false guidance. Go and ask the Christians about what then? He do not need to ask the questions. He do not need to go to the Christians. So what is the point of this verse? Unless Muhammad really have a doubt about what he believe in.
No, Muhammad doesn't say. He said, I don't doubt, and I will.
Listen. What do you mean Muhammad did not say? Who knows better, Allah or Muhammad?
Allah know better than Muhammad.
Okay, in the verse after, verse number 95, it says, وَلَا تَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ فَتَكُونَ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And don't be one of those who accuse Allah of lying. Why Allah is saying to Muhammad that?
What did you repeat what he said?
This guy, he speak Arabic, but he's my friend, listen. وَلَا تَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ فَتَكُونَ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Don't be one of those. Don't be one of those who accuse Allah of lying, so you will be one of the losers. Why Allah saying that to Muhammad?
No. Kadabu is not like kadabu. Deny.
It's the same. Kadabu, guys. Kadabu is not the same as lying. Kadabu. And then listen. The word kadaba. We speak Arabic. Al-Fadi. Is the word kadaba? Does it mean deny or they accuse of a lie? You tell me.
It's a lie, of course.
We can go right now. We can show them in the screen in the dictionary. Do you want to show everybody Nightmare? I can do it right now. In the dictionary, the word kadiba, kadhab, kadhabu, it's mean accuse of a lie.
No. Kadiba is different than kadaba.
Kadhaba is a verb. He accused of a lie. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay.
Kadaba is one verb. Kadiba is another verb. Two different verbs. Two different verbs.
Okay. Why Allah? I will go with you. I will go with you. Just to show you how funny the Muslim when you're trying to defend. Why Allah saying to Muhammad, don't be one of those who deny the Quran if Muhammad never denied the Quran?
Why he's just saying that, that's a speech in Arabic.
So Allah is, are you saying that your God is the one who speaks for no reason? He say things doesn't make sense. Muhammad don't no. You have to explain. You have to explain why he says to him, don't be one of those who they accuse Allah of lying. Yet Muhammad don't accuse Allah of lying. Why he's saying that to him?
Don't say that, accuse Allah of lying. Don't mistranslate the words.
Abdul, listen. I can right now in the front of everybody. I go to the dictionary and I get you busted. You want me to do that live?
What? Read the verse. Are you reading verse translation, or you are making your own translation?
I'm not even reading translation. The word kazzaba, the Muslim translation is false. Kazzaba in Arabic.
Now you in order to protect yourself.
So do you accept the Muslim translation yourself?
What they are translated there? They are translated lie. They are translated
no. Okay. Do you accept or not? Do you accept yes or no? Do you accept Muslim translation?
I mean, of course, I'm not to say 100%.
Okay. Do you accept it? Do you accept it? Okay. Let me ask you. Do you accept the dictionary? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's the dictionary. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to open dictionary in front of everybody. Hold on.
Yeah, but tell me what they have to translate. Why do you don't want us to tell me what they have?
I asked you, do you accept translation? You said no. So why I want to show you translation?
No, I'm not saying no.
Okay, hold on. We will go to the dictionary live in front of everybody, and we will see what the word means. I will type it in front of everybody. Here we go. Okay, this is the dictionary. Everybody can see it live. Guys, read with me. I will zoom in. Okay. This is the dictionary. Do you see it? Accuse of lying, call a liar, give the lie to, accuse someone of liar, to call a liar.
I don't see it. I don't see it there. I don't see that.
Not my business. People, they can't see it. The screen is on. Guys, everybody, do you see it? So you are not being honest. The word kadhaba is a verb, accusing of somebody of lying. So don't be of those, one of those who kadhabu, those who accuse me of lying. Why Allah saying Muhammad?
Okay. So let me tell you one thing. Okay. Read to me the translation. Okay.
What translation? We are showing you dictionary right now.
Yeah, the verse. How they translate it.
I don't care. You speak Arabic. Listen. You are speaking now. You are speaking. Me and Al-Fadi and you speak Arabic. And this is the Arabic dictionary. Does it say that kadhaba mean accused of lying? Yes or no?
It depends on the context. Tell me how they translate.
Listen, all the context. Here we go. All the context in front of our eyes. All of it. All the let us say options. All of them is about lying, making lies, accused lies. Read it. Read it.
Listen. Okay. Can I speak?
Yeah, you are speaking. Go ahead.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Okay. The dictionary that you have right now. Does it say kadaba, ankara?
Yes.
Ankara?
It says no. It doesn't say. No, it doesn't say that. Read it. Right here. Right here.
Ankara is to deny.
My friend, it's in the screen. Read it with me. It says kadaba اتهم بالكذب. Read it. You see it? I will make it big, wide. You see it? كذب mean اتهم بالكذب. He accused of lying. And we go to the translation in front of it. It says accused of lying.
Kadaba, it says to deny. Yes or no?
Kadaba. Okay, to deny what? To deny a lie.
Okay. You got two definitions.
No,
okay.
I'm not the one saying that. The dictionary in front of me doesn't say to deny. It doesn't say that. Kadaba is a verb.
It says ankara. It says ankara.
Ankara what? Ankara what?
Ankara is to deny.
Ankara what? Ankara he deny Allah. You know, Nightmare. I invited you. The problem I don't like Nightmare is this guy. He is not honest. We show in the front of our eyes in the screen the dictionary, and this is a Muslim website. Have nothing to do with me. Have nothing to do with him. We did not call this website to ask them to put this in there. And this is the website. Have nowhere it says just to deny. It is about you are saying falsehood, falsely, lies, accused of lying. All of options is there. Deny of what? Deny of a lie. Kadiba.
No, deny books. That's what he said the verse.
Deny what? Deny what Allah he sent. Deny what? What does that mean? When somebody deny Allah to be Allah, what does that mean? He accused Muhammad to be a false prophet. Is that correct?
No. That deny what you don't know English.
Okay, let me ask you. Nightmare. When a Christian refuse Muhammad to be a prophet of God, isn't it mean when he deny him, he right away automatically he's saying Muhammad is a liar? Do you agree?
Yeah, for him Muhammad is an impostor.
Okay, thank you very much. We are done.
Okay.
Go. I don't want to waste my time. We go back to brother Al-Fadi. You see, guys, this is how they try to fool us. It doesn't matter how much you show them reference. I'm showing the dictionary. What do you think, Al-Fadi, of what this guy said?
Yeah, I mean, it just amazes me. I just his focus is on the grammar. I mean, this is the problem with our friends, the Muslim friends. It's always like something new. Whenever they run out of arguments, something new comes in, and he's using an argument between either or in. So find me a Muslim who doesn't speak Arabic that will understand the difference between the two. They're going to rely on translations.
My friend, even the Quran, grammar is wrong.
Exactly.
The Quran has no grammar.
And also, why would Allah make such an assumption anyway? What was the purpose behind this assumption? Just to put it in there, just in case? Okay, so Muslims doubt a lot of things these days. Why is it when they come to ask us questions, all of a sudden our book now is corrupt, when their God is making the assumption that our good is good? A book is good for them to come and ask.
You see, when you spoke to him in the beginning, he tried to play with the grammar of inna. It's an assumption, maybe not. But the second verse confirm. It says, and don't be one of those who accuse us of our verses of lies. Otherwise, you will be a loser. And now right away he starts saying, oh, let us go to the translation. This person, the same guy, if I show him different translation, he will say I don't accept it. Now he want to go by the translation. We show him the dictionary. So, you know, this is the problem with Muslims. They have a lack of honesty, and they are willing to defend Allah by any mean anyway, even if it is so clear. Why Allah want to say to him, don't be one of those who accuse of lies? If Muhammad will not do that, it doesn't make sense.
Amen, brother.
You know.
Well, brother, I'm enjoying this, and unfortunately, I gotta leave. But you and I will be in touch, and we'll decide when we can come back and join you again next week, we'll continue doing this. But thank you so much for this honor.
I'm honored to have you, my friend and my brother, and I'm sure people here they are happy to hear you, and maybe next time you'll be in the camera, and I will and people they can call you right away, and they can ask you the questions, and I think many of them they are excited to talk to you and to know you better.
Amen. I just want to close with this. Gentleman by name, or somebody by name Saul, was asking a question about why are there different Bibles? I'm sorry, there are different Bible translations based on the original. And my question to you, back to you, is why are there different Quranic translations, not to mention different Arabic Qurans? I'll leave you with that thought. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, bro. God bless. Thank you, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye. And what about we don't even have the Quran you have today. What is the Quran? When the Christian he says to you the Bible, the version of King James, we are talking about translation of the King James. As simple as that. All of them, they translated from the original manuscript. Now, you Muslims, you have your Quran from who? From Hafs. Hafs is a liar. According to Muslims, according to your reference, according to your books, Hafs is a liar and he's a thief. Say hello to Hafs. And as you see, even your prophet himself, he don't believe he's a prophet, he don't believe he's a Muslim, and he don't believe in Allah, and Allah is giving him a warning. Don't accuse me of lying to you, otherwise you will be one of the liars. Anyway, I think it was good to have our brother here, Al Fadi, and I'm sure guys you will like listening to him. And maybe he can decide to join me once a week to be with us in our yeah. But why Muhammad will deny a revelation? You see guys how funny this Nightmare, he is posting for us. Look at this, look at this. Let me show you what Nightmare he posted, just to show you how smart Nightmare is. Nightmare is the super smart intelligent person in the world. All right, this guy is a genius, obviously. Okay, let me show you what he posted. Hold on. I am going to copy paste as he posted. I'm not going to make any change. Hold on. All right. And I will make it big text just to share with you the intelligence of this man. It's amazing intelligence. Sometimes it's hard to believe what we can say, you know. All right, this is what Nightmare he posted for us. Read with me, please. Nightmare Barbar Biktal. And be not though of those who deny the revelation of Allah, for when wert thou of the loser title. Isn't it this is a confirm that your prophet is accusing his God to be a liar? Because when Muhammad he denied the revelation of Allah, he did what exactly? He denied Allah to be God. When I deny Muhammad to be a prophet, I asked Nightmare, and he answered me. I said to him, if a Christian he deny Muhammad to be a prophet, what does that mean? Does that mean they accuse him to be a false prophet? He said yes. What false prophet mean? A liar. So when Muhammad he denied the revelation of Allah, he is denying Allah to be God. And Allah saying to him, if you do that, don't do what they do, if you do that, you will be one of the losers. Now, Nightmare, he said, Muhammad never did that. That's mean Allah's speech is funny and stupid. He's asking him to go and ask the Christians if he's a prophet or not, but the prophet, he do not need that. So Allah, based on Nightmare, he is the kind of a doctor. He give you prescription of a drug you do not need. You know what I mean? Like you go to a doctor, then he write for you 10 prescriptions, says if you are feeling pain in your stomach, take this medicine. If you are feeling pain in your neck, take this medicine. If you have pain in your fingers, take this neck. If you are in doubt about this medicine, read this article. But this guy do not need any of those medicines. He is not sick of them. So what the point? The point is Allah is stupid based on the interpretation of Nightmare. Because if Allah is smart and he is God and he knew the future and he knew the unseen, he should know that Muhammad is not infected with this problem. So what the point of this assumption? And I am seriously, I feel sorry for Muhammad, because obviously Muhammad, he have the worst of lawyers to defend him. Why Allah saying to I cannot answer this question? Why Allah said I cannot answer this question? So what you can answer? Read the translation. What? Read the translation. The translation, and which one? Okay, which one translation you like? Do you accept? No, I don't accept translation. But now he decided to post for us translation. He decided to be smart, but by being smart, he got himself busted. He don't accept translation, but he posted for us Big Tal. So from now on, we are going to post Big Tal to Nightmare. Be my witness. Anyway, guys, I think we have enough for today. I hope you guys you have a good time with us, and please don't forget to subscribe and tell your friends about what we do here, so more and more people they will join and they will learn. Now tomorrow again we will be here in the same time as usual, 4:30 p.m. Nothing will change. Now brother Al-Fadi, he said, and you heard him, that he like to join me in what I do, and maybe he will be in the camera at the same time we broadcast, and you can give him questions. And you know, Al-Fadi is an ex-Muslim from Saudi Arabia, for those who do not know. This is the first time he joined me in my live broadcast, and actually I enjoyed very much having him with us. He sounded very smart, intelligent person, and obviously we can learn, all of us, from his experience as a Saudi ex-Muslim, because it's a lifetime experience. You know, it's not just this person is born in a Muslim country from a Saudi family, conservative one, and then he decided to leave the cult of Islam and to accept Christ as Lord and Savior, and that is an amazing part of his story. So I'm happy to have him. If you guys like to read my books, you can go to Amazon, search for Christian Prince, and you will find my books in multi-languages translation and in English for sure. With this, I want to say thank you. May the Lord bless you, and see you tomorrow again at 4:30 p.m. as every day. God bless. Christ is Lord. Islam is false. Amen to that. See ya.